Alright guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. Today we've got Canice in the chair. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
You good? Yeah, I'm good, thank you, man. Good. So what's the plan today? What are we doing?
So looking more for like, I think it's too short for a taper, isn't it?
Too short for a taper?
Yeah.
No, not at all. What is it you're trying to achieve? I mean, what is the whole look you're trying to go for?
I think for a few years I've just been doing a quiff.
Okay.
And I know obviously you know a lot about hair. I was thinking maybe you could like try something. I'm not sure what to do because my hair's quite straight as well. So.
Oh, okay. How old is your haircut? When did your haircut last?
On top about 9 weeks.
Okay.
And this probably like 4 or 5 weeks.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. The back is very short through here, and the crown is sticking out already. I don't know if you can see that. So if it's sticking out now, it's probably going to stick out when we're finished. Hopefully not. But I think it's just gone a bit too high on the back and sides because the way it's sticking out there.
Yeah.
That shouldn't really be happening when it's cut. You know, especially if it's 4 or 5 weeks growing out, it shouldn't really be happening. And you've got quite a lot of short bits through here. So I think if you want something brand new at the moment, you've got a very heavily disconnected fringe.
Okay.
That's what you've got right now. So the fringe is the longest point you've got now, but everywhere else is quite short.
Okay.
But there doesn't seem to be a graduation to it. It seems to be like short then long.
Okay.
So I just need to look at the problem areas before we decide on something new. So if I was you, I'd probably just do something that's very heavily textured. I mean, a quiff. Yeah, I mean, I think you'd suit your hair coming down onto your face a bit more, to be fair. I think you could get away with that. You've got a very lean face, and I think it quite works well. You've got a diamond face shape, because it comes very prominent here, and with the facial hair as well, it kind of almost accentuates the point, and then you have the point up here as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a diamond, right? I think you'd suit your hair kind of just falling quite loosely on and off your face. I kind of, as I've just accidentally styled it then, where it kind of just falls quite loosely. I think you'd really suit a very heavily textured top.
Okay.
The only problem is you've not got much here.
Yeah.
It's quite short, and then you've got a very heavy disconnect where it looks as though it's been shaved quite high up to there.
Oh, okay.
See, there's like a line. You can almost see a section where it's been shaved to up to there. Can you see that bit there?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem because you've got to kind of have a blend in there, like a transition to the top. So you'd probably, and as you can see how much of an undercut you've got going on, there's a lot of hair hanging over. There isn't any hair hanging over here. That's kind of almost blended in. But then that's what I'm saying, like it just like sort of stops being blended on the top. Then it just gets really long through the front there as well. So I'm not too sure what the reason for that disconnect is. I don't know whether it was because of the quiff or whatever, I'm not too sure. Again, the same this side. It's quite short through the back corner here, and then gets very long and heavy at the front. So I think you'd probably have to take the top down a touch to match. So I mean, if I was you, I would probably try and connect the top in first and cut it to like a more uniform length, and then grow it into something. You know what I mean? That would be my professional opinion to do.
I can do that.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think you'd suit just like a very heavily textured haircut. I wouldn't take loads off like the front here. I'd still connect it in. But I still think you'd suit having your fringe somewhat up, down, somewhat up, somewhat down as well. You know what I mean? I think that would look quite nice. In terms of the back and sides, though, what are you looking to do with it? You mentioned the taper. What in what sense were we talking taper?
Just looking for a fade, I guess. That's usually what I've been doing for the last few years, getting like a skin fade and then shortening the top and doing it as a quiff.
Right. Okay. Do you want to do a skin fade again on the back and sides, or would you prefer to keep more length in it and do a taper? What would you prefer to do?
With the haircut you're going to do with the more textured, would you say which would suit me better? Would you say?
I can make anything work. To be fair, I think if you were going to have anything done, I'd opt for doing more of a fade than a taper, just because of the temple area. But I mean, it can go down to skin if you wanted to. It's whatever you'd prefer really on the back and side. The back and sides aren't going to be too much of a big deal for this. The biggest thing is trying to sort this top bit out and connect it all in. I mean, I do think you suit hair on the back and sides of your head. I feel like it's good for you because your face is so lean. The shorter you go here, the longer it's going to make your face, and the leaner it's going to make your face. I think your face is already very lean. So my first thought wouldn't be skin fade. It would be like probably more like a 2, and then putting a taper in with a 2. That would be just keeping that shadow around the back and sides. That would be my first. If you said to me blank canvas, go for that. That's what I would do, because you've got lovely texture here. It's a waste to just whip it off. And I think when you are whipping it off with the skin fade, you are then compromising other areas. And then just give you, because we could do quite a nice taper on the neck, especially. We could do like a really nice high taper on the neck, because that doesn't matter too much. It would actually be better because of how short the crown is and how it's sticking out already. If the taper was fairly high, you'd be creating this shape, which if you look, well, you can't see, but the camera can. It's just that crown's coming to the point where it should be at anyway.
Yeah.
Based on the length you need to keep it at. So that would probably work quite well. I think if the taper was high. But again, I wouldn't do it too high on here. I could still do one, but it'd be more like I'd basically just descend that out into nothing. Okay. I wouldn't put like a harsh line and then try and blend it out, because then that's where you start going into that concave here. So I'd probably do that.
Okay.
Yeah?
Let's do that then.
Sound good, yeah? And then with the top, let's just kind of try and connect the rest of this in first, and then just put loads of texture in. I think just a heavily textured haircut on the top would be really good for you. I think it would suit you loads.
Yeah.
Should we give that a go? Yeah. All right. Cool. Sweet. Well, what we'll do is we'll get it. We'll give you shampoo and conditioner first, just to blank canvas it even more. Okay. And then I'll probably work a cut on the top first. I think you'll be able to see the haircut come to life a bit more then as well. Sure. All right, man. Cool. Right. So we've just shampooed and conditioned Canice's hair. Now we're going to start from the back to the front. We're going to start to basically match up the back to the front. We'll still leave more length at the fringe, but we're going to start to try and balance this top out now. We're going to get rid of that undercut that he's got in so heavily here as well. So start off just by sectioning away the crown. We don't do many of these haircuts anymore, really. The trend is, even for the 4 or 5 years I've been doing this with Regal Gentlemen, I don't know if you've noticed, if you go back all the way back to the 5 years, like some of our first haircuts we did, we don't do many of them haircuts that often anymore. Not even just in the shop, neither. Leaving the crown longer and stuff like that is not really spoken about as much anymore, I've noticed, because we're doing a lot more like longer haircuts, or we're doing haircuts that the crown is kind of already in play with. So this is going to be a bit more of a kind of throwback to like some of the haircuts that we used to do back in the day. So I'm going to start by separating the crown. I'm going to pick up the first section, about a finger width in length. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to take the length off, but I'm going to start to texturize it already. So coming about halfway down, I'm going to point cut in. To create that texture, that broken texture, because it's very thick. You probably can't see how thick it is, but his hair's very thick. Now, I'm going to start again. Next section, same thing again. And just break it all up like that. Now I go to here, same thing again. And really break that up so it's very heavily textured. Now this is where the length starts to get a bit more here. So I'm going to take this length down a touch on the top, and I'm going to take the section again, and I'm going to point cut in, like that. And this is where the length starts to get a little bit disconnected now. There's where all that length is. So take the length down. Same thing again, but just not as short into my fingers. So I've raised my fingers slightly. It's not going as short, but halfway, maybe just above halfway. Okay, that texture in there. Working across from the left to the right. Take a little bit off the top, but just point cut in, texturize. A little bit of length needs to come just on that little corner there. Here's the connection point that we need. So we bring it right back to the recession, and this still adds the connection, but still leaves length at the front. Bring it back to the recession point, and there's our disconnect. So I'm going to point cut into that, like so. I'm going to work around, just below the round of the head, and just make sure this is blended in. There we go. So we've kept length in the fringe. We've connected that into the sides so far. Okay. Same thing this side now. One cut in to break it all up. A bit longer on that bit there. Now I'll cut this fringe in while we're here. So as it falls, I'm going to cut it back to about there, and this down. I'm just going back over it just to texturize it. When you break it up, it's going straight in to my fingers. So the same kind of thing we did point cutting in, just doing it with my fingers. Now because it's wearing this fringe up and down, I'm going to make sure we've got that connection point at the round of the head as well, the front. Like so. So we've got a nice graduation from the front leading in to sort of follow the shape of the head like this. There's a nice minimal graduation. It's all opposite of what it was when Canice walked in. It's a little bit of freehand. Like so. Now add the razors to this as well, just create a lot more texture in the hair. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick it up really sporadically and just work right into the root, because I've already cut into the mid-lengths. I just want this to collapse a little bit as well. I also do techniques like this where you can work in to break the ends of the hair up as well. Like that. To get a really, really textured top. Now, I'm going to dry this off and start with the back and sides now as well. So leaving the crown to the end. So not going to cut the crown now. I'm going to blast it out from the crown to get rid of that section in the back we've put there. And then I'm going to work on the clipper work. Right, so this is going to be a bit of a Regal Gentleman exclusive, this, because I am going to, for the first time on the channel, use a pair of texturizing scissors. Now, everyone thinks I have a problem with these scissors, and I don't. I have a problem with how they're used. That is the thing. These scissors are incredible scissors. They work a treat on my hair, Canice's hair. Loads of anyone with really super thick straight hair, they work a treat on. It's when people use them to blend in, because you're left with this kind of blend. Right, this kind of thing here where it's very serrated, very sharp, it's growing out all over the show. That's from a thinner scissor, 100% guarantee that's what's happened there. Same this side. You can kind of see the way it's kind of just like, you've got all these dry, sticky out ends, right? It's because you're basically shattering the ends of the hair. These work really well when they're used the right way. These work really badly when they're used the wrong way. So that's the reason I never really use them, is because I don't feel like you need to. If you're teaching someone how to cut hair, you teach them how to cut hair. This was always called the cheating scissor when I started off, because you could blend in hair, you could disguise things that you'd done in a haircut before you could actually cut hair. So I only tend to use these now for texturizing, because that's what they're created for, right? So I would use it to texturize the top, because this still feels quite thick. Even though I've gone over it, the razor and scissors, your hair still feels very thick. Now what a good technique with this is you can pick it up like this, home around, and you can basically point cut into the hair. Now that works well because I'm not going straight across. I'm creating still a textured finish to the ends, right? So pick it up, bring it over, and cut in like that. So I'm still cutting it on an angle. So there's loads of different angles getting cut in there. If I was doing it blunt straight across, you'd have what you had when you sat down, that straight line of hair. So I'm using them this way, right? You can also do this if you want to. You can cut right into the hair like that as well. That's also a really nice technique to create a very heavily textured top. So you can see all the hairs come out there, right? But we're not doing it on an angle which is just like this and working right through the ends. We're using it to take away the thickness and to texturize the hair. So we're using them correctly, okay? By coming into the hair like this, working up to the hair shaft, we're going on a different angle and we're sporadically doing it. So that's going to create a lovely, it's going to thin the hair out, as you can see, but it's also going to create texture to the hair too. So this is why I use them like this. Your hair texture is perfect for them, okay? Very rare I do tend to use these, but I'm using them today because I haven't used them before and I thought it'd be a nice haircut to use them on, to show you how you can use them, okay? Not necessarily just using them to blend in and to cheat with them. So that's the sort of texture we're able to create from all them different techniques, Okay.
Yeah.
And that feels well thin enough for me now. So, happy with the 2 on the back and sides then, yeah, what we said, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So we're going to start off with my number 2 open guard, so 2.5. I'm going to drop it, I'm going to do it to about here, so then I've got room to blend in as well. So I'm going to start at the back, like I always do, and I'm going to use the occipital bone at the back here to start off my blending point, because that is still very short through here. Okay, as you can see there, the bits that have been thinned out to blend in, because I've got loads of shorter serrated bits there. So I need to try and keep them in full flow if I can. So using the occipital bone at the back there, that's my guide to work up and off, and that way I can start to shape into the crown then. Down into my closed guard, so number 2. I'm working that up and off into my 2.5. You can sort of see how high that's been taken up there, can't you, from the previous cut, moving up to here. So by keeping it low, we're starting to build up that shape now to create the perfect sort of transition for Canice's hair to be, well, for his face shape as well, I guess, to work on that too. So that's my 2.5 or 2.5 and my number 2 done on the back and sides now. So what I'll do is, I'll put my line in for my taper at the back, but I'm going to descend into a taper on the sides, okay? So, start off, so it's perfectly even, that point there, so I'm going to take it a touch higher. No way. Just above it. Like so. Make it up and off into the 2. So we're still creating a shadow of this concave area here. So it doesn't look too harsh, it doesn't change too much of the face shape. Into a 1. Into a 0.5, a little bit lower down. And into our 0. Just take away the side then. Like so. Same on the other side. Into our number 1. Into our 0.5. Into our 0. Like so. What I'll do now is going to work on the clip over comb for the blend until I get to the 2.5. Taking the ends off that have been thinned out and just descending down into 2.5. Just working on very, very small sections to keep it nice and seamless. And just getting closer and closer with the spine of the comb to the head. So if you rest this comb against the head, just lightly, it goes down to number 2. Press hard enough, it can go to a 1.5. I'm just working over to cap it off now. Smooth that blend off. So, same the other side now. So now I'm going to line out the edges, and then I'm going to work on my taper. So once I put the lines in around the hairline, that's going to allow me to get that perfectly symmetrical taper. So that's what I'm going to work on. So do the lines first, and then work on that taper of the neck. Just give it a bit of strength. There we go. Now work on the taper now. So start with my 0.5 and work up and off. One side first, working through the lever to work down to my 0. Working on the lever again. One guard goes on. Weight that up into the 2 on a 1.5, and weight that just below the occipital of the bone, like so. We'll do one side first. So half guard on, lever open, and that acts like a sort of 0.75, so a little bit more in between a 1 and a 0.5. Then again, just wear through the lever until you get down to your 0.5. I'll just seamlessly take it out. Just work over that transition from the 0.5 into the 1 with the lever open, like so. And just work through the lever. There we go. Now, finally, the crown. So the thing is with the crown, we've kind of kept that in play the whole time, really, because it was quite short when he came in. If you think about it, when Canice came in, the crown was already sticking up, right? So it was already too short. Now, what I'm going to do is just working across the crown. So there's probably going to be this little tiny peak here that I'm going to cut off. I think that's probably it, because it's quite short already. And it was already sticking out, so I don't want to do any more to that because I think it'll make it worse. But can you see the amount of texture that's fallen through your hair already without anything in it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So imagine a little bit of product will just enhance that, right? Now I'm just going to perfect my clipper over comb with some scissor over comb. Make sure everything's sitting right. Point cut slightly into it, just a touch like that. Just to soften it and just to give it a bit more of a good transition into that texture at the top. Without being too perfect. So can you see that taper is still there, but we haven't gone into this bit here?
Yeah.
So it is still a taper, but I think it looks really nice and clean. But if it went too high, it would have dropped into there, and it would have went like kind of in and then out. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
But we're keeping that shape in there now. So now I'm doing just perfecting my scissor over comb over any areas that I feel like could be still a bit longer, a bit darker, whatever. Making sure the clipper weight, there's no little long hairs in the clippers. And the same thing here. Just break that fringe up a tiny bit more, just on the ends. Close your eyes for me now, buddy. So that's basically the top is all now balanced, okay? There's no disconnection coming through the front. The tops are sitting in more of a one length shape. And I think if you just grow this out for like maybe another month or two, you could properly get a really nice style, you know what I mean? I think definitely wearing it messy and textured is perfect for you. I wouldn't go for something that's too structured like a quiff. I go for something that's just really messy, to be fair. Put a little bit of this product in, it's called Form and Cream. Now the reason I like this one is because it's completely pliable throughout the day, but it gives your hair, like this, your colour hair is perfect for this. It gives it like a sort of natural shine, like a healthy looking shine, you know what I mean? So you do, work it into your hand, through your fingers, so you start to feel a bit of stick, right? And then you work it into the crown, then into the front. So you start at the back and work to the front, okay? And then you style. So I think if you were just to have something quite messy, fringe still up, but little bits down and over, so it's just very, very heavily textured, I think that would work really well for your hairstyle, more than it being like a super high quiff. I think something like this just looks great for your face shape as well, balances everything else out. It shows everyone that you've got lovely, incredible hair, mate, because you really do, you've got amazing hair.
Thank you.
I think it would just help give you that. So nothing that's too kind of like structured or too perfect, just something that's just going to show off all that texture. I think it's quite nice, man. Into the sides and into the crown nicely as well.
Yeah.
I think this is more of a complimentary haircut than a particular like straight in your face style. I think this complements your face shape, your hair texture, what you're trying to achieve. I think it's one of those things that you probably get more compliments on by having just such a normal uniform haircut than you will have if it was like perfectly quiffed and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because it suits you so much as well.
Thanks, man.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much. I should show you the back and sides as well. So you can see your taper. So nice taper at the back. Again, same on the sides, but not as harsh.
Yeah.
Just something that kind of bounces, and then the top just cut all in.
It's nice. I like it, yeah.
Looks nice, doesn't it, man?
It does now.
Thank you very much. Cheers.